Hey, what's up, y'all? So let's talk about money, having an abundant life in business, and being a mental health provider at the same time. So I specifically want to drill in on what does it feel like when you feel aligned, meaning you are doing something that you love. You see an opportunity and it feels good and it deserves a yes. This just doesn't have to be in your business. It can also be in your personal life. And so this topic came up to me honestly because I've been having a lot of conversations with our internal community clients that are in our coaching and mentorship programs. I've also had a lot of live events in the past. And then from time to time, usually leading up to Mental Health Awareness Month, I have offered for at least the last 2 years something called business strategy sessions, or most people know it as a MVP session for most valuable provider. And I started hosting those sessions to one, give people a slice of the cake, and that's going to matter, that phrase, in a moment. But I want to give people a slice of the cake of what they have been in my inbox asking for, which is, hey, can I get a one-time session with you? I want to know what it takes to build this particular stream of income out when it comes down building a profitable mental health business. And so I wanted to give them a slice of the cake. We started doing that, but in 2025, I noticed that there was a serious trend, which is I want to go into the store, AKA our store, and I know that my appetite and my family, we want the whole cake. I don't want to keep going back and forth getting slices of cake. But I walk into the bakery and then I realize even though my desire is to have the cake, I didn't know they had individual slices. So I'm going to talk myself into why it would be better to actually have the slice of cake, knowing that my family tomorrow is going to want their pieces of cake as well, which means that I'm going to have to spend more time and potentially even more money to come back, maybe over and over again, when I could have just bought the whole damn cake in the beginning. So I'm saying this analogy because this is what I have seen happen with therapists in our community. So can I just talk to y'all for a minute? This ain't no educational video. This is a business therapy strategy. We just about to talk as though we are FaceTiming or maybe even Voxering with a video. But at the end of the day, I can't see you, you can't see me, but we just talking. So with that in mind, we were giving out execution plans post any type of one-on-one session or even onboarding session with our clients that we would have. But what I started noticing was at the end of those sessions, we would, if it would be beneficial for that person and we had something to offer, of course, and it would make sense and it was aligned, we would say, this is what we would recommend. Now, I'm gonna be real, 9 times out of 10, they were asking us, what do we recommend? Do we have anything to help them execute and implement the whole cake? Because they knew that the plan that I was giving them, they can go and read it. They can go and actually start it, but knowing them, they know themselves better than I know them, that they would need some support as it relates to feedback as they are building it so that they won't build out the whole thing and then say, oh man, I don't know how to do this one component. Does she have any slices of cake for that one component? And I'm really big on our coaching programs being the whole cake in a box. I don't want you to have to come back and forth. So if a therapist wants a solo practice, we have DTA, Dope Therapist Academy, for that. If the therapist has a private practice and now they have room for delegating and then adding clinical streams of income like clinical supervision, therapy groups, one-to-many clinical services that requires a different part of their brain, aka delegation skill set and things like that, then we have a therapist scale academy. That's like in the middle. Then for those who are building out a whole agency, like a group practice, or maybe even, dare I say, a coaching business, digital product business that requires, for me, more personalization for these individuals to build that out. And I want to give them time to build it out with feedback. Show your work. Tell me what you did. Let me give you feedback. Go back and do it. Come back again. Tell me what you did. That's our back and forthness. We have layers for this. That's called the Elite Coaching Mastermind. I choose not to put all of that inside of one program because one is for growth. One is for beginning to scale and learning how to accept the fact that you cannot scale if you are already or always in your business. And then you have the ultimate scalability, which are people who are building agencies with multiple people that they are managing, or they're going out the scope of mental health services and they want to protect their license. So we have 3 different levels. I say all that because people will ask me for recommendations. I will provide them with recommendations. I will talk to them about if they have any questions about these recommendations. And then this is what I see. I'm interested. I want to join Monday. I want to join right now. When is your next cohort? I give them the information. It's fine. I don't expect everybody to say yes. So then we move forward. We're in another quarter. We don't have those one-on-one sessions anymore. And then what happens? I put out a simple digital product that represents a piece of the cake. So a piece of the cake may be, let me show you 80 different ways to diversify your streams of income. Let me show you what's possible beyond an ebook, y'all. Therapists, we do not always have to do an ebook as another stream of income. That is not the end all be all. But if you want to do an ebook, let me show you various ways you can even do that. If you have expertise, let me show you other ways you can show that expertise, whether you like to use your voice, you do meditation, you do wellness services, you want to do workshops. That's called the Profitable Streams of Income Bundle. Check it out in the description box. But that is about awareness. And as a bonus, we give you our launch execution guide for ebooks because we know that a lot of therapists still revert back to doing ebooks. So the problem that I saw there is I want to increase your awareness that you're not in a box. And then I want you to give you a launch execution guide so that you can brain dump and follow my steps of how you would launch this ebook. If you read it, you will actually be able to launch an ebook. Will you learn email marketing? You have to know how to do email marketing, but that presents another piece of the cake. But it's a digital download for less than $100. So I say all that because some individuals may do one-on-one. They get full from those one-on-one sessions, which is perfectly fine. That means I did my job. But then I give the recommendations. They see that it's aligned with where they want to be. They are feeling me as their mentor or coach. So when I put out these other digital products, they will buy those pieces of cake. And what happens? I literally have heard this every single month that I meet a new therapist or someone who's been in our community and they've been buying pieces of cakes, not the whole cake. They've been exposed to the whole cake during a boot camp, during a masterclass, during a live event. Here's your scalable business in a box. And I've literally had therapists tell me over and over again, I've been to 2 to 3 of your boot camps. I went to 1 of your live events. I came to 2 of your CE workshops. I actually open up all your emails. I watch all of your YouTube videos. I listen to all of your podcasts. I know you're the one for me. And in my head, I'm thinking, can I be real with y'all? What's standing in the way of you pulling the trigger? Right now, I get that some people, it may be actual clarity. Like maybe you can't make up your mind about which stream of income you should be focused on. That makes sense because once you invest in anything that I have, I want you to go all in. I don't want you to start because of an adrenaline rush and then you realize, actually, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want you to do that. But if you are fully committed to yourself, to investing in something that's going to move the needle in terms of speed for you to implement with feedback, not self-paced where you don't even know if you're on the right track, then that's where I would say there must be something that is deeper going on inside, maybe even on the subconscious level that you're not even aware of, that is preventing you from getting to the results that you want. So I say all that to say, I get the mini chat automations from these individuals getting a piece of the cake. I see them clicking on emails that represent a piece of the cake. I hope y'all following. Comment in the box right now if you watch it and you like, my gosh, either she is I, he is me, or oh my gosh, you are definitely watching all of our steps. Yes, I am. Because when I start seeing your name over and over again, like to the point where I low-key think you already in one of our mentorship programs, that already is a flag. It don't have to be a red flag. It might be a yellow one. It might be a green one. But we're trying to figure out what is going on. Like if you are a student, like in grad school, I get why you are just hanging around. You want to stay motivated because as soon as you pass that licensing exam, game on. Oh, I would be holding on to if I was available when I was in grad school, but there was no I when I was in grad school. So I get why a student would watch for 2 to 3 years. But a licensed provider, dare I say, to desire to stay in the same spot a year from now, I don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. Okay, so let's talk about self sabotage. At the end of the day, when we think about where we want to be at in our careers and specifically in our business, because I am a therapist scale coach, my goal is to not just have you stay in the growth phase because most therapists don't want to just only do one on one therapy for the rest of their life. So I want you to see what's possible in other levels of business, even if you're not there yet. And so, answer me this in the comment box. Have you started telling yourself things like, especially when you run across a book, a program, a live event, something where you realize like, oh my gosh, they're going to give me everything I need based on the information that person provided, meaning you did your homework. So all of a sudden, within 5 minutes, within 24 hours, you start telling yourself after your first answer was yes, where's the sign up page? You start saying things like, well, if I invest the money, if I invest my time, if I travel to the location, or if I do a mixture of all three, is there a possibility that I will not get to my outcome? Let me know if you've ever found yourself, because I know I ain't the only one, because I go through those questions as well. I'm human. But let me know in the comment box if you remember going through that process and you were very aware, like, wait a minute, I am totally against who I was an hour ago or yesterday. But get this, it might be coming from, if you become aware of it, it might be coming from fear. It also may be coming from a lack of confidence because it may not be the thing that you see that you deem as, it's not going to help me. It might be you're shrinking your own self to believe that you can't do the work to get the outcome that that person said that you could have if you show up and do the work. That's a you problem. That's not a product or program problem. However, if you've had the you problem for 6 months, a year plus, I don't get why, as a mental health provider, you wouldn't go get help with that. You end up, in so many words, shrinking yourself. So, what that turns into is that you delay your abundance. You delay the person that you want to become on your vision board, and you start justifying why you're not moving. This is my favorite. Life is lifing. Listen, your girl's life has lifed like a cat 7 to 10 times over. Do I talk about it on social media? Absolutely not. Do I look like I've been lifing? No, right? But that's my desire to keep my life is lifing separate as much as I can as a human from what I choose to do in my business. Am I saying that my personal life does not impact my business and vice versa? Absolutely not. I am a human being. But what I will tell you is I will grant myself grace, grant myself rest, grant myself time to just be present, be still, listen to God, talk to God, dump my problems into His world, and allow Him to give me provision so that I can make better decisions, not out of how I'm feeling in the moment. So going back to the cake analogy, again, let me paint the picture. You hungry. You got a sweet tooth specifically. You know the people in your household would benefit from that particular cake, from that particular baker. So this is what you do. You go into the store. You notice that, oh, wait a minute, they got slices of cake. But you also notice that they got the full cake as well. And you know that if you go home with one piece of cake, your family gonna be like, where is mine? So you tell yourself, this is the responsible choice when I only buy one slice. I'm watching my budget. I'm watching my figure, which might be true. It's just me tonight in the house. My family ain't even there. They're outside. So I'm gonna justify why I'm gonna buy this one piece of cake. But here's the problem. The next day, you realize you need more cake. So you go back to the store. You realize that you've wasted time going twice, if not 3 times. You get a couple of more slices. You're trying to stay within your budget, but you know what? Your appetite still wants the whole cake. And so let me ask you, wouldn't it make more sense if you could actually save more money and more time by buying the whole cake in the beginning? So I want you to fast forward a week. You realize once you are still that buying, let's just say 7 to 10 individual slices actually will cost you more than the whole cake itself. Like, think about that. You've utilized also way more time going back and forth. You've burned mental energy making the same decision repeatedly over and over again. And low key, you knew from the beginning when you saw that cake, you knew from the beginning that the full cake would make more sense, but you justified why you should get one slice. So let's translate this to mentorship, execution, implementation so you can get the money, have the vacation, have the abundant life, have the 401k stacked up in a Roth IRA, whatever you choose, generational wealth. Let's translate that to regular terminology that I need you to understand. So the cake is a resemblance of mentorship, the right mentorship for the problem that you have in that moment. I want to be clear about that because I'm not saying just go press the swipe my card for any mentorship that comes across your desk or your phone. But the slices, these are examples of the slices, and talk back to me in the comment box. They're random masterclasses. You're not even desiring a digital product, but you say, you know what? It looks attractive, so I'm going to go ahead and sign up. One-off courses. You know you need the whole private practice program, but you say, you know what? I just want to focus on social media. The problem with social media is you still don't know how to run a business. So, okay, I digress. You do the one podcast and you think that's all you need. Or you even do a series and you're like, well, they took me steps 1 through 3, so I'm going to just keep listening to this over and over again. It's free. It's YouTube videos. It's low-ticketed, easy offers, $7, $24, $47. Now, let me be clear. At the time of this recording, we live in the year of 2026. AI is popping. The thing is powerful. I'm sure you even gave her or him a name, whichever platform you use, Dr. Chatty, right? It can give you a massive amount of information in seconds, but let's be real. Information has never been scarce. We've always been in the information stage. It's just readily available on our phones, on our other technology gadgets, like in seconds. So let's be all the way clear. Over the last multiple decades of your life, correct me if I'm wrong, information has been in books, but we don't read or listen to those. Information has been in podcasts, but if you can't see the person back in the day, I don't want to listen to no audio. Even if you did, it's like information has already been there. Information has been in YouTube videos. Information has been at live events. Information has been inside of mentorship, memberships, and coaching programs. Information has never, accessibility-wise, been a problem if you know what problem you're working on and you know how to go find it, aka you are being resourceful. But you know what has been missing and what still is missing? Execution, implementation. So check this out. There are 2 different types of people. There is a very, very small, and I happen to be, because I know my gifts, I am the very small percentage of people who will go and look something up on their own or with a little slice of cake and then go look up the rest. In 2026, I know specifically with being focused what the exact questions are that I need to ask artificial intelligence to start a conversation going. I am also not shy nor fearful of experimenting and failing. And it's never a fail technically because I learn from the experience and the experiment, and then I will do something differently. I will pivot or I will realize that it is not for me. I do not give up. I am relentless. So if you are in this small percentage of people, you are the I. I tweak. I make small changes to get the results that I want. I refine things and I will do it over and over again until I get it and it is not breaking. Eventually, what I'm saying is I will get results. So that's the first person. Small percentage. But then you got this larger than life, 97%, probably if not more, of the United States, if we could just focus on Northern, America, is there are people who say, I don't even know what questions to ask. You might have even invested in a coaching program and still not ask a question. Also, you are given a map, the launch process, the course, the business in the box, but then you tell yourself, I don't know what to do with this. Now, my answer will be, well, follow the syllabus, follow the course module. Why don't you listen to the welcome message? It might actually tell you what to do. And then also, you might actually need someone to help you. You got to know yourself really good to implement efficiently. And see, this is where the person who invests, whether it's time, money, or both, compared to the person who does not, might see results a lot faster and a lot bigger. I'm not saying that that's the end all be all that you have to invest in order to get results, but it doesn't always have to be in business. You may have to invest in a trainer or a nutritionist to know what to feed your body based off of your blood work, based off of your hormonal levels. You get me? And so what you are paying for. I'm going to say this loud and clear. When you invest in aligned mentorship, meaning you know what you want to have, you know what problem you are in right now with what you want to have, meaning what is the barrier? What you're missing is the thing or person that's going to teach you and help you implement the thing to get to what you want. So what people don't understand when people are investing, at least in our coaching programs and our mentorship, especially at the scale level, is that you are investing in not more information, even though I have it specifically related to mental health therapists, but you're specifically paying for speed. What does speed look like? You want to open up a group practice. You already have a private practice. So the first 90 days, we're doing nothing but assessing and making sure and cleaning up your private practice, because once we switch over that hat, I'm not going back. Not going back. So 90 days cleanup. And some people could try to clean up on their own, but if you've never done our DTA program, you don't even know what cleanup is to us for systems. So 90 days cleanup. Everybody who did the 90-day cleanup in our mastermind never regrets it. Then the rest of the 9 months, because yes, it is a 12-month container. I want to see you win. I want to walk you through, not just to give you our system to hire therapists. I actually want to see you hire a therapist and then run into another block, because most people think you're good. You don't need any more mentorship until after you hire the therapist, after you do the launch. But you may not know how to interpret the results after you've done the thing. And you want feedback on making sure that it doesn't fall apart based on what you've built. So you are investing in speed. You are investing in efficiency. You are investing in shortening the learning curve. How many of you have read the same book, listened to one of my YouTube videos, listened to one of my podcasts, been to a live event, and you're like, man, she keeps saying the same thing for the last 8 to 10 years. But I heard it differently today. We're not short of information, so it will always be there. But you want to decide with the slice versus the cake, which one is going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, like ROI. That's how I invest my time and money. So let me give you a real life example. It is a therapist example. It is what we call a map problem. So let me paint a picture, because I know y'all like case studies. So let's take a therapist who wants to launch a specific digital product. So they come to a masterclass that I have. They have listened to podcasts, whether it's YouTube podcasts or audio. They lay out, from what I've taught through my free masterclasses and YouTube videos and stuff, they are able to lay out all 4 launch phases. If you don't know what I'm referencing, search my page for launch phases. But they lay out the launch phases based on them launching, let's just say, a workbook. Now, let's just say once they map them out, and these are real life situations, they then realize that, oh, wait, email marketing is in phases 1 through 3, and it shows up differently in terms of what I'm supposed to do, what I'm supposed to say, what I'm supposed to set up. I don't even know what email marketing system to choose. I don't know what's the first email I'm supposed to put out there. How do I get subscribers? How do I know that my emails are working? Now, could this person go and Google or YouTube, TikTok more videos on email marketing? They could. Or could they save time and money at the end for just going to the source and getting everything at one time, or at least everything in one place, where they can just go back and forth and pick out what they need, the box. They run into, if they want to do text marketing, again, what platform? How do I do it? What do I say? They run into social media marketing issues. I don't know how to increase my brand awareness because people don't even know that I have this product. Nobody bought my product, Dr. TK. I saw that they have a Canva template or Etsy ebook templates or for a workbook or something, but how do I know which template works for me? How should I format it? Do you have any suggestions on how do I find an editor? Like, all these questions start arising after they thought they solved the problem of how do I launch it? How do I launch it is a very, very big question, because there are different components to launching any service or product in your business. Then they may run into the issue of testing the offer. I put out my offer on social media and I put out 2 posts and nobody bought. Nobody saw your stuff. You didn't even increase brand awareness to tell people who you were before you even started launching other products. You weren't even consistent with your mainstream of income, talking about that you got a private practice, and then you add on a digital product. Now, this isn't how I talk to my clients. But y'all who know me know that I talk like this on like a live stream. And that's what I'm treating this as, like we FaceTiming. Because it feels like when I talk to y'all like this, my people, like you sitting in this room with me, it feels like it moves you differently. So with that in mind, you start experimenting and you want to validate the demand, which means that you want to make sure that what you are creating actually can make money. It can change people's lives or whatever the problem is. So everything I listed, it requires execution. It also requires a different skill set than maybe what you had in the beginning. So then when I look at situations like this, and I've been looking at situations like this for the last couple of years, especially when your name keep coming up and up like in our database, and I'm like, why aren't they in our program? They could have just had all this by now. That's just my thought. So then it leaves me thinking, this person may be thinking, damn, Dr. TK gave me the whole map. I just need to execute. But see, here is where it gets a little tricky. You have the map. Like I said, you've created a new problem, or the map has created the new problem because you've executed on something which is drawing out the map. But you don't even know what to write. You don't even know what to feed AI, but you say, hey, listen, I ain't got to hire no copywriter. I don't need to hire a coach. I can just go over to AI. But here, let me pose some questions for you. Let's imagine you go to AI. Is that marketing message, meaning what you are saying, is it aligned with your audience? How do you know? Have you tried it? Right? Do you know how to test out your captions on Instagram, your voice on video, your podcast episodes? How do you pitch your product, your service, your wait list? What do you say in email marketing? How do you interpret feedback, whether you know if your product or service is working or not, whether it's sales or brand awareness? How do you know when it's time to pivot? Like, can AI get inside your soul? And they can't listen to you talk, don't get me wrong, but can they guide you based on, for me, the clinical principle of not losing your license? Now, do I agree that AI can help you immensely with efficiency? Yes, I use it every day. But I will say what has helped me move faster is that I have actually invested in master paid classes, live events around specifically marketing, messaging, and building out systems for sales. I did not just do all of this $2 million plus brand over the last couple of years. I didn't do this by myself. I give credit where credit is due. So you want to think about, when you are choosing to do all these things on your own, how much time you have spent, and your time is money, with going around in circles. Because let's just take email marketing. You have to set up your email marketing system to make it work for you. You have to understand email strategy, and it's different than social media strategy. You want to understand, when you're launching something, that your launch emails are going to sound differently than your newsletters, information emails. You have to understand that if you choose to do a masterclass, webinar, or live stream, that those areas are very different than even doing what I do sometimes, which is a multi-day boot camp. When I do a masterclass compared to a boot camp is where I have a longer container to connect with people, whether it's all in 1 week, 3 days back to back, or across 2 weeks with some implementation days between. It depends on what availability I have, and also what our clients are looking for at the time, based on attention span, to be honest. So you also want to understand that live videos and live streams are very different than a Instagram with a reel, or a TikTok video and a caption. So what I'm saying is, each platform, it's going to require a different strategy. And see, here's the thing. People be trying to throw spaghetti at the wall and hope that what you put on Instagram, you can actually put on TikTok. I'm here to tell you, it does not work. It may work about 25% of the time, but you really need to switch it up with the message. Those audiences are looking for different things in terms of how they connect with creators or, professionals. It's also a different psychology. When I think about TikTok, it is more like I'm talking to you right now. I actually could have live streamed this on TikTok if I wanted to, and I would have had people sit there and listen on TikTok without needing to hop over to YouTube. YouTube don't like when I upload, which I have though, when I upload vertical footage from a Instagram live over to YouTube, y'all like horizontal. So some people may click off of it because just the dimensions look off. Then Instagram may like more aesthetics, more storytelling. You have to understand what these platforms want from you so that you can show up consistently and run your business if you use it as a marketing tool. So as I mentioned, when it comes down to a slice of the cake, like marketing, messaging, um, building out your product and things like that. Copywriting by far under marketing is a huge issue that I see as a slice of the cake where therapists are just trying to get pieces of how do I market on social media, specifically Instagram. Instagram is not the end all be all. I love Instagram, but you got to find your people. So this is what I did. I have invested in coaches, whether it has been a $1,000 program, a $500 program, or a 24K mastermind. I have also hired copywriters for different coaching programs in which I had launches. Now, this is what a good copywriter has done. They have listened to and watched my videos to listen to how I talk. They have watched coaching calls and my past boot camps or masterclasses to see how I present information. They actually went out of their way after working with me about 1 or 2 times and suggested that they talk to some of our clients that were successful and talked about their success openly in our business so that they can see how our clients are maneuvering through our products and our services. Guess what they did? They took all of that information plus some other data, and then they were able to formulate their marketing to match my voice. They didn't just go in AI and say, here's a video from YouTube. I need you to create a launch process, 6 emails to talk to my ideal client because this is the way that, I talk in my Instagram videos or YouTube videos. Like, no. So you got to know that these platforms are different. But over time, what I'm getting at, y'all, is that I built out mastery for what I want to be good at. I made and I make a lot of money. Whether I am choosing to work more or work less, I choose my season. I have that choice. And that's always what I've been in the game of business for, is having my desired schedule and making the amount of money. I don't care if one year I only want to make, and I'm not minimizing only, you know what I'm saying? But one year I may want to make 100,000. Another year I may want to make 600,000. Another year I may want to make 1 million. It really depends on my life goals because with those amounts of money require teams and systems and me to put them together. So I've built mastery. I've made a good amount of money. I have learned with experimentation what works for me, what has not worked. I share that knowledge with therapists. But of course, where coaching comes in is that I help you personalize it to what you want in your life and in your business. I don't want you to clone me. So I have learned how to pivot when something is not working, not shut it down and not quit. I refine. And yes, I do use AI, but I don't want there to be any confusion. I, with all these hours, have a full-blown non-paper master's degree from lived experience and paid experience in marketing, messaging, and business. So the hard question that I really want to pose to you is, when was the last time you ran across something that you knew was the whole cake? And it was your complete solution in a box. And it addressed the exact desire that you have right now and the problem that you have right now. But maybe, just maybe, because it was premium, meaning the investment cost, you then justified why you should not invest versus, I'm going to tell you how I see things. I may see things as like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was going to be that much. But then I start thinking about, well, if I go all in, and I follow this framework that they're saying they're going to give us to do X, Y, and Z, then what is possible? And then I play the what if game. That what if game automatically smashes all my limiting beliefs, but I got to keep doing that, not focusing on the limiting belief. I want you to understand that. How much time do you spend in negative belief land? So you may tell yourself, I'll piece it all together. I'll wait till she has something else. I can grab a slice of cake today. I'll just come back later. Hopefully it's available. If it's not meant to be. I can figure it all out on my own. Here's the thing. Fast forward 12 months from now. Are you in the same spot? You've bought different slices of cake from different bakers at that. You have burned time. You have burnt your energy. You have spent a whole lot of time looking around the world instead of buying the whole cake. And guess what? You're still hungry. You still hungry. So here's the abundance shift. Let's bring it on home. Whether it is a book, a class, a coaching program, a mentorship, a membership, a VIP session, a live event, a podcast, whatever the resource is, if you recognize this is the problem that I have, this is the desire that I have, what this person can give me is aligned. Instead of you operating from lack and justifying why you should not get the whole cake in a box, and you should get a slice right now, I want you to instead step into the person that is on the vision board that knows doggone well when they look back hindsight, they will be damn proud that they did it scared. So why not operate from an abundance mindset, from an expansion mindset, from an abundant identity, because you have to become mentally the person that has the things that you want. So just buy the whole cake. So if you are a therapist and you already have at least a part-time business and you know you want to expand clinically into different streams of income without getting a new tax ID, like therapy groups, contractual clinical supervision, or may I dare say, you also want to have a group practice. I want you to go down to the comment box. I want you to apply for our Therapist Scale Academy. Now, if you're going toward a group practice, still fill it out. When we hop on a Zoom call, if your application passes the first round, meaning we feel like you're a good fit based on your detailed responses, and we know that we can help you, we will talk to you about the mastermind, which is one-on-one coaching specifically to help you build out a group practice. But go check out the Therapist Scale Academy. We want you to stay within your scope of practice. We want you to keep your license. We want you to go to the level of yourself that you may not even feel like is possible. So if you want to scale beyond one-to-one and you want support from someone who has not just have done the things that you want to do, but that is still active in the field. I still have a license as a licensed clinical psychologist. I'm still doing mental health services. It's just that I do one to many at this point. And then I also still go into areas of other streams of income. I am very active. And so to me, in our community, you're going to have the best of both worlds. So if you want to check out the Therapist Scale Academy, go ahead and fill out the application below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I love that you have connected with me. Again, my name is Dr. TK, clinical psychologist, therapist, scale coach. I am all about helping you design a life first business. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.